more than 30 times over 39 years. That's the number of trips Singapore's late former Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew made to China starting in 1976. He stepped down as Prime Minister in 1990, the year China and Singapore officially began diplomatic ties. After his retirement, Lee retained an advisory role to Singapore's cabinet and continued to promote bilateral ties with China.
Lee
Kuan Yew had long encouraged the two sides to build a close bilateral relationship. Many times he expressed his thoughts about China in positive terms to the world, especially to Western countries. Doing so won him respect within China.
Lee Kuan Yew became the first Prime Minister of Singapore when the country gained independence from Britain in 1959. He was widely credited for turning the small nation into a thriving metropolis that today boasts a high standard of living. According to the International Monetary Fund, Singapore's per capita GDP ranks at number 3 in the world. Lee laid a solid foundation for political and economic cooperation between China and Singapore and is known for his governing philosophy.
Lee Kuan Yew placed his faith in the elite, stressed the importance of education, and invested in building a harmonious society that accommodated a broad mix of ethnic races. More importantly, he emphasized the rule of law and made great efforts towards making Singapore one of the least corrupt places in the world.
Bilateral ties between the two countries progressed as China and Singapore forged agreements in free trade, education, foreign investment, and technology. In 1998, bilateral trade volume stood at around $8 billion. That multiplied over 10 times to more than $90 billion by the end of 2013. China is now Singapore's largest trading partner.
Lee paid a very close attention to China's development, and he said Singapore should be the bridge to the world for China. Singapore has been offering all-range support to China's economy. Thousands of Chinese governmental officials have been sent to Singapore to learn governing skills. The Suzhou Industrial Park built by the two sides charted new waters in industrial park of cooperation in China.
Lee Kuan Yew has had a great influence on Singapore's domestic and foreign affairs. As the new leader is now making changes to cope with the new challenges the city-state is facing, there have been questions about Lee Kuan Yew's old rules. Regardless of the direction Singapore chooses to go in, no one can ignore Lee's achievements in building up a prosperous city-state from the unpromising history and geography.